Next on Worcester News tonight, a man is in custody after a police chase ends in a crash off 495. What Auburn police are saying about the incident. Plus, illegal dumping is a growing problem in Oxford. The police are taking action. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. A PBD man is behind bars tonight. Police in Auburn say their officers tried to arrest him for drug and weapons charges, but the man violently fought them off, eventually leading them on a high-speed chase. Police released this photo of 33-year-old Marcus Mitchell. Auburn police say their officers approached Mitchell during a routine check of business parking lots around 4:30 Tuesday afternoon. Police say they found drugs and a handgun in Mitchell's car. It's when police say he became violent and resisted arrest. The officers tased Mitchell twice before he took off. The chase ended at the Route 20 exit off Interstate 495 in Marlboro. State police arrested him after the car he was driving crashed. Police say he was armed when he got out of that car.
With the firearm in his hand and threw the firearm at the troopers. The troopers exercised great restraint by not firing on him and not shooting him. One of the officers suspected he was under the influence of drugs by the way he was acting and observations he was making. And unfortunately, the taser wasn't successful. They actually had to remove. He still had the leads in him when he was arrested.
Auburn police say Mitchell has a criminal record in both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. He will be arraigned in Worcester District Court Wednesday on a slew of charges. Local carpenters are claiming they are victims of stolen wages and payroll fraud while building the new apartment complex on Front Street. The Worcester Carpenters Union hosted a community rally downtown Tuesday. It's all in response to the accusations. The union says 3 workers have filed wage complaints, stating the developer has failed to pay employees for all hours worked. Union members say the progress being made in downtown Worcester should not come at the expense of taxpayers and carpenters.
And it is going to bring revenue to Worcester, but you can use a legitimate contractor who plays by the rules, right? And the project will still be made on budget, you know, on time.
Organizers of the rally say they aim to educate developers and the public about proper workplace standards. And in the town of Oxford, police say someone is using a couple of donation bins as a dumping ground for trash and other unwanted items. They're now looking to charge the violators, and residents say it has become a problem. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
It's just sad that such a good thing is being a dumping ground now.
Liz Buffoni says within the last few weeks, these donation bins in Oxford have become an eyesore. Mattresses, couches, and grills litter the site on Old Webster Road.
It's not your personal trash because you don't want to pay Pratt to pick up your old stuff or donate to somebody that could use it properly.
The bins are meant for clothing and book donations. They sit in front of an abandoned building, but are owned by Earth Aid Recycles. Attempts to reach the company found the phone number and website are out of service.
It's not acceptable. People are making a transfer station and a dump out of a local charity box. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. People should be ashamed for what they're doing here in this nice town of Oxford.
Dave Aiello says he notices the piles of trash are always growing.
I understand why they're doing it. They don't want to spend the money to do it, to get rid of their trash, but why leave it in my backyard?
Oxford police are investigating it as a case of illegal dumping. They say it's likely people are coming in at night and they have a few suspects in mind.
I believe my suspects are not from Oxford. I believe they're from surrounding communities that probably use that road, see the bins, see the location where they are, and it just actually makes for an easy target to drop things off there.
Officer Kevin Mercier says if found guilty, suspects could face fines of more than $5,000.
It ruins the character of our community. There's no place for it, and we will investigate any illegal dumping that we come across.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Drivers on I-290 should expect overnight detours beginning Wednesday going into Thursday morning. It's all to allow for the removal of the pedestrian bridge on Belmont Street. The highway's east and westbound lanes between exit 17 and 18 in Worcester will be closed beginning at 9 p.m. Wednesday and will reopen Thursday morning at 5. Westbound drivers will be detoured at exit 18 and will take Lincoln Street to the I-290 on-ramp just after the Belmont Street bridge. The removal of the pedestrian bridge is one of the final phases of the Belmont Street rehabilitation project. Paving on the street and on the I-290 ramp is expected to be completed this summer. The American Red Cross holding a blood drive today in Worcester. The organization says they are in critical need of blood donations, especially during this time of year. The Red Cross says the start of summer is a challenging time to find blood donors, with many people heading out on vacations and lots of students heading home for the summer. The Red Cross says it can be challenging to find donors to meet the demand and welcome area donors to stop by one of their blood drives in Worcester.
We are looking for blood donors right now. We usually see a fairly substantial decline in donations around the holidays. So following Memorial Day weekend, we did see a dip in donations, which is fairly typical with folks taking vacation and not being in school and not being at work. So we are looking to revamp our collections, get some donors in. Particularly, we're hoping for some new blood donors because that is part of the decline we've seen in those new blood donors. So we are trying to find a way to get more folks to come in here to the donor center.
And the Red Cross will hold another blood drive Wednesday from 1 to 6:45 at their Plantation Street location. If you are interested, you can set up an appointment by visiting the Red Cross website and to learn more information. As part of National Bike Week, Bike Month, and a new exhibit and bicycle repair station is unveiled along the Blackstone River in Worcester. Organizers say the new additions are important to attract visitors. Our Rosalind Flaherty was there today and has the story.
A new bicycle repair station and bike rack stand along the Blackstone River Bikeway in Worcester.
It's a place to be able to change a tire or perform some basic maintenance if you need it while you're out on a ride.
Also on the Bikeway, a new exhibit where people can learn about the history of biking in the area. Megan Dupreet is the executive director of the Blackstone Heritage Corridor. She says the new station is an important addition.
If you build a bike path, it's important to have a place where people can get off the bikes and lock them up safely and then go exploring.
The eventual goal is to have a bike path from Worcester to Providence, Rhode Island. Dupreet says the path is not completed yet, but they are making strides.
Here in Worcester and into Millbury, we've got about 4 miles of bikeway. In Uxbridge, Millville, and Blackstone, just under 4 miles was built and finished just late last year, so that also has been officially operating this spring.
A state grant of $25,000 helped pay for the improvements, including 60 bike racks along the route. City Councilor George Russell says the new additions allow people to escape the city without having to travel.
Not everyone can afford to go to Cape Cod every weekend, and it's good to know that there are facilities like this in the city where you can go and spend the afternoon.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
On Beacon Hill, there's a push to limit the phone use by teen drivers. Eli Rosenberg has a look at the details the legislation is taking up on this rule.
Well, the state rep with 3 teens of her own says she is constantly in fear of them driving with their phones. So this bill would require cell phone providers like Sprint and Verizon to create an app that would disable phones when these teens are driving. Now, as it stands now, this bill really targets teens 18 and under. The bill would require cell phone companies to provide the app free of charge to parents. Teen drivers could call a pre-approved list of numbers in 911, but all other functions, from texting to using apps like Instagram and Snapchat, would not work while the car is moving.
And this is something that I think we can put in place that's reasonable. It's another tool that parents can use to keep their kids safe. I am excited. I hope, looking forward to getting some good feedback, and had some good feedback so far, and at least people are talking about it, I think.
A representative from Verizon testified in front of this hearing this afternoon that he does not believe the technology exists right now that would differentiate between a teen driver and passengers in the car, so everyone's phone would be affected. He also said that same technology doesn't exist to differentiate when that teen is, let's say, in a bus or the subway. Reporting outside the State House, Eli Rosenberg, Worcester News.